Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. I am RoyalMixGaming, and today's video is going to be about migration and kind of just a step-by-step guide on how to migrate. I'm going to give you guys basically, what buttons to click, what you have to know to migrate to a kingdom, and I'm also going to flash some infographics on the screen just so you kind of know what kind of passports is required to migrate, because I recently, like 5-10 minutes ago, migrated to 2293, and I'm in SIP Plus, or SIP exclamation point right now, as this is like my restart account that I'm in right now, which is really nice. The reason I kind of moved to this kingdom 2293 is I think it was KVK 2. We versed 2293 in kingdom 2303 and lost against them because they were a very active kingdom. We were their allies in KVK 3 and won with them during that KVK. And then we recently played against them again in our first HA Heroic Anthem KVK and end up losing to them, and they beat an Imperium kingdom even though they are not, which is one of the main reasons I've came to this kingdom, is because it's a very active kingdom that is really nice to be in. So I'm going to have to get situated and see which alliance is best for me, because I really need to try and unlock T5 on this account. But we're going to go ahead and get into how to migrate. So basically what you're going to do is scroll out. You're going to have to make sure you are out of alliance. You're going to have to make sure you have basically all your resources gone other than the resources that your storehouse can hold. And I'll show you that what basically you'll have to have, in the storehouse, like the maximum. So basically what you would do is click on a kingdom you want to go to. You're going to click the Immigrate button, and it's going to give you basically how many passports you're going to have for the immigration to a new kingdom. And then you'll have to have those passports whether or not you buy them with alliance credits, or you can buy basically the monthly bundle from the store that's going to give you one passport for $5, two passports for $10. I think for 20 it's 3 or 4, and then for 50 it's 4 or 5, and then for like $100 it's like 5 or 6, I think, or something like that. So it gets expensive the more you go up. That's why you want to make sure you're trying to buy them with your alliance credits, because they cost somewhere around, I think it's like 600,000 coins. It's probably not any in the shop, obviously, right now, but they cost about 600,000 regular alliance credits. So these that you get from doing basically building alliance things like in your flags and things like that, slow constructions, one troop things, get them from alliance gifts, alliance reclaim, which is this thing here. It's called Alliance Reclaim, which you can basically give back to the Alliance whatever you want, things you don't need. Basically, the biggest one that you're going to want to get rid of once you have Ethelfled expertise is getting ready for sculptures, because you can get, like right here, 700,000 coins, which is really good. I mean, 143 heads. I mean, that did take some time, so it's like 3 a day. It takes some time to gather these. But 700,000 coins, that's one passport page. A lot of this other stuff's going to cost a lot less, but you can get a lot more of these greens and blues and things like that, which will help you out to get them, but you're going to have to be saving for a long time. So the main thing you want to be using your alliance credits for is pretty much just passports to stock up so you're ready to go in case something goes wrong in your kingdom, which is why you want to make sure you have a decent stock of those, so you're at least really close to having enough to migrate to the kingdom that you want to go to. So for the storehouse, basically you're going to click on your storehouse, click the info button, and this is a level 24 storehouse. If you have a level 25, you can have 2.5 million maximum capacity all the way across the board, and then that's the maximum amount of resources you can have in your storehouse depending on when you're going to go to migrate. When you attempt to migrate, I planned on showing you the exact video of me doing it, but I had to join Discord to join this kingdom, so I kind of forgot. I apologize for that. Basically, once you've scrolled out, click the migrate button to whatever kingdom you're wanting to go to. It's going to make sure you go through a checklist of, is your kingdom got the power cap at the right cap? So for this kingdom, it's at 35 million power. They have to sometimes raise it in case you're anything over that. So if you're 50 million power, 40 million power, they're going to have to raise the cap by whatever power requirements you are. Then you're going to have to make sure they're not in the KVK. So whether or not you're in KVK 1, 2, and 3, you have to make sure they're not in KVK or in preparation season. And then when you're in Season of Conquest, you basically have to make sure they're not being registered and their matchmaking hasn't began. So it'll give you a red X if they are in any of those circumstances. And then you have to make sure the Destination Kingdom is not in the Lost Kingdom, and you are also above City Hall 16, which is another thing for farms. You have to be a level 16 City Hall to migrate them. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to get them to level 16 City Hall, but that's another topic for a different day. That's basically how you migrate to a kingdom, is just to make sure that you have the passports you need. You make sure that the kingdom you're going to knows that you're coming so they can raise the cap for you. You make sure you get rid of all your resources. And then when you click the migrate button, it's going to ask you, basically you're always going to have just slightly too many resources. So when you hit the click immigrate button, it's going to say, get rid of all your resources. You know, whatever excess you have, and it'll be a couple 100,000 probably, something like that. You're going to have to put in all caps the word delete. And when you do the word delete, it gets rid of all your resources. It's going to ask you to confirm. And then you're migrating to that kingdom in whichever province that you clicked on here. It's basically the map itself. You're only going to be able to migrate into zone, I think it's zone 1, maybe zone 2. But you can't really get into zone 3. Maybe it's just zone 1. But you're going to go around to whichever one you want to get into. But you're going to want to make sure you're ready to join an alliance so that you can get back into zone 2 and 3. Which is where I am right now. I think I'm in zone 2 right now. But like I was saying, I need to get situated. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that infographic that kind of tells you how many passport pages you're going to need depending on your power. So here is from ROK Guide, the minimum requirements for your power and basically like what power level you are, how many passports you're going to need. So if you're 40 million power, you're going to need 12. Anything under 40 million needs 12. If you're going to be anything over 40 million power, you need 15. It's kind of basically whatever the power is. It's just whatever is like 49.9999 below 50 million. That's when you can have your 20. But if you're 55, that's when you can have 15. But if you're going to be, or you can have 20, sorry. And then if you're like 50.1, you're going to have the extra one for 25. So you just kind of have to make sure you're under that cap as much as you can. Basically from 5 million power. Difference is you have to make sure that you're under the cap you want to be so you can buy the passports that you can get to go to a different kingdom. And as you can see, it goes up exponentially. Once you get above 50 to 55 million power, it starts to get really, really high. And like I was saying, some of these passports are very expensive, so you're going to want to make sure you're buying your passports, I would say, every once in a while, or at least making sure that you are buying the monthly bundle to the $5 and $10. If you can't do that because you're free to play, don't want to buy them, make sure you're saving your alliance credits up and making sure that you are occasionally, and I do mean occasionally, asking for a passport or two from a farm alliance or something like that, just so you can start slowly stocking up. I wouldn't recommend asking for 20 passports in one day, something like that. I would recommend you just kind of get them as you go. Don't be like too worried about it unless you're really wanting to get out of there. And by then you want to make sure that you have somebody that's willing to give them to you, or you already have the passports already, which is the better plan is to have them already. So back in game here, I hope you guys learned something from this video, learned how to migrate, and also learned just how to migrate and how you get the credits and all that kind of stuff so you know what you're doing when you migrate. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.